What's up, Hog Nation? It's your boy Jay here. It's been a while since I dropped a video on any bold prediction on my thoughts on the program. So I'm going to kind of just surmise or summarize all this up in this video on how what I think and the direction I think the program will go. I am by no means an expert, but here's my opinion. The Hogs lack true leadership. Leadership always starts from the top and it's supposed to trickle down, and that's true in work environments and things like that. And so I think Chad Morris, he was a heck of a recruiter, a nice guy, but he just couldn't bring the locker room together, couldn't piece things together. And sometimes in life, we can get in over our head on some things. And the people that hired him, it wasn't Hunter Yurchek, our current AD, who did that decision, but you had some people from the board of directors. It was a young lady who was the interim who made that decision. And then they paid him a lot of money to do it, whereas you should have kind of lowballed it, and if he hit certain targets, then you kind of say, hey, look, we're going to increase you to here. I think that would have been a reasonable thing to do, but that wasn't it. So now we're about to pay out Chad Morris's contract, and then I think Coach Brett Bielema's contract is still being paid, and I know they had some court issues with that, trying to halt those payments because he wasn't seeking active employment or things like that. So it's my hope that they'll get that behind them. But they have some big pockets at the U of A, so they've had people pouring money to try to get the next ball coach. And so my opinion on the next ball coach is this. I like Barry Lonnie Jr. I think he is a phenomenal guy, coach, motivator. You can see the difference in the press conferences and how he's able to, kind of, I guess, speak and not give you smoke, I guess, if you want to say. He's able to talk the football talk, but you can tell that it comes from the heart. And so that's one thing I respect for him. If the Razorbacks want to give him a shot, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but he needs to bring in a lot of assistants and OCs, DCs who can go out here and coach and get these guys up there, strength and conditioning coaches. But if I had to choose somebody who I think was a little bit more proven, I would probably go with Mike Leach, and that grew on me a lot because I had to do my research, and I knew Mike Leach when he was at Texas Tech. I didn't know him personally, but followed him throughout my time of watching college football. And so I think he would be the coach to develop QBs. A lot of people want Petrino back. I think that ship has sailed. You saw what he did in his last year at Louisville when he came back for the sequel. And I mean, people have down seasons. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be able to come back in and do his thing. And I apologize for the train behind in the background. But he wouldn't be Houston Nutt. You could kind of bring him in as some type of consultant. Now, if I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in if Bobby Petrino was able to say, hey, I'll come in as a coordinator. Hey, I'll take Bobby with that because you're going to get the best out of those offensive players. Point in case with Bobby Petrino, when was it Houston Nutt was fired, then I think we brought in Petrino. Petrino had Casey Dick, and if you know Casey Dick, he didn't really have that much of a throwing arm. Sometimes his passes would be kind of suspect, but then you had Petrino, they had Gary McGee. They came in, and you can tell that his mechanics improved. You could see that his throwing motion had been improved. You could see that his drop back with his feet, his foot coordination, all of that had improved, and that's because you know how to develop players. So I think somebody like a Mike Leach will come in and drastically take the QBs that we have, like the talent with KJ Jefferson, John Stephen Jones, which I personally like KJ. I think he has the potential to be the face of our program. He just needs a quarterback coach, a head coach who knows how to develop his type of style of play. Good coaches know how to bring in a system that caters to that QB. Now, when that QB gets to the league, sometimes you kind of see that system was what was protecting him. Now, Lamar Jackson he is an exceptional exception to this, where a lot of people said, man, you shouldn't do this, and Petrino coached him. You should be a wide receiver, but he is doing his own thing in the league. I think KJ Jefferson, given the correct coaching staff and staff that will help him to develop, we'll see great things. So my number one, coach would be Mike Leach. Number two would probably be Lane Kiffin. My third choice would probably be Matt Campbell from Iowa State. In fact, I had a dream that the next coach would be somebody named Matt. and he was the only person I can think of. I don't know if it was something I ate, which is possible. And then my fourth pick would be Sam Pittman. And if I had to round it up to like a top 5 pick as far as my coach, I guess, and this is a long stretch, I guess Gus Malzahn, and I know a lot of people don't want to fool with Gus Malzahn, but hey, I think anything would be an improvement from what we had here this season and last season. So I'm going to go with my prediction for this Missouri game here. I think that the Hogs will come out with a lot of energy. I think that they will get their first SEC win in a long time. So I think that the fans will pack out the stadium and the Hogs will get this W. And then shortly after that, we'll hear who the new ball coach is, and I think it's going to be Mike Leach. I would love to know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think the score of the game will be and who you think the next coach will be. Peace.